welcome again to Benchwarmers. Got some hoops and some hockey and some high school track coming up this week. We will check in with Shane Warwick at Warwick Workouts to see how his basketball proteges are getting their work done inside and outside the gym this summer. And Alex Heinert coming up in studio, talking high school track and University of North Dakota hockey. Plus, Alex will have his UND Mount Rushmore, the top 4 UND athletes of the last 10 years. Our big guest this week is one of our favorite local pro football players. From Sioux Falls, Washington to the University of Nebraska, and now going into his 4th year with the Philadelphia Eagles, Nate Gerry has a big year coming up in the NFL. We sat him down at his home at Lake Madison. All right, Nathan. Nate or Nathan? Which one are you going by these days?
Nate. I guess White Snake.
White Snake, definitely. Which came from where?
Nebraska.
Speaking of the Huskers, let's start with that, I guess. Any hope for your Huskers?
I got high hopes, yeah. I got a lot of faith in Scott Frost and Bill. I thought that was probably the best decision we've made in the past 3-4 years.
Another year or two for him to get it going?
Yeah, I think he still's got to get his people in there, figure out, what they want to all do and whatnot.
All right, my man. How long you been living lake life here at Lake Madison? Last couple of months with all that's been going on?
Yeah, past for sure since winter. After my surgery, I finished the last 5-6 weeks of surgery out here. So I could come home, spend some time with family, and then now coronavirus kind of got me stuck out here for a while, but it's not too bad. Not a bad place to quarantine.
All right, you had surgery in January for what? I mean, you played hurt, you said, for at least the last year or so?
Yeah. So I think it was a year and a half ago, and during the OTA season, which would be this time of the year, I kind of found out that I had a couple tears. I had some tears in my groin, and I had tears in my lower abdomen that attached to my pelvic bone. So finally got surgery on it about a year and a half later. Tried doing the rehab solution for a good half of the year. It's one of those surgeries that is a 50-50 deal where, some people come back from it, some people really don't. So my trainers kind of pushed towards the rehab for a while, see if that would help at all. And then after, half a year, didn't really cure the solution, so I decided to do the surgery route.
I've seen indications of maybe being able to get back to Philly in late June or sometime. Have you had any indication of when maybe you can get back with the team, actually get together physically in Philadelphia?
Yeah, so according to Coach Peterson, he talked and he mentioned that, the governor and whatnot, they changed. The Pennsylvania went from a red state to a yellow state. Okay. So there's still an option that we might have a veteran mini camp, which usually is, 2.5, 3 days where we'll go back and, have 3 days worth of practice and meetings and being able to, like you said, get together and, hang out and do what we got to do. But still up in the air right now if we're going to do it or whatnot. But as of now, I think we're just going to be reporting at the end of July. As us players and coaches, we're working for that. We're going to have a season. We got to be ready for it. Obviously there's probably going to be some accommodations, what's going to happen, whatnot. But, that's out of our hands. We just got to be ready when it comes.
All right, talk about the Eagles as a team last year. Finished 9-7. Win those last 4 games of the regular season to get to the playoffs, but then lose to Seattle in that first playoff game. What was it like last year for the Eagles?
It was a long, bumpy road for us. We had a lot of injuries. We had a lot of different pieces that had to get moved around. Including myself. No one really was able to set in stone on one position last year. We had to maneuver a lot of guys. We had to use a lot of different packages to be able to make it through games, offensively and defensively, special teams. It was tough, but one thing about the years that I've been in Philadelphia is that it's just something that we embrace from the city is that just keep fighting, keep in the end. As long as we give ourselves a chance, that's all we need.
You yourself, second on the team in tackles last year. Had a couple interceptions, tied for the team lead in interceptions. I mean, those numbers pop out, don't they, for coaches? Do stats mean anything? But you had a good individual season, didn't you?
I thought I did all right. Obviously, at the start of the year, didn't play as much defensively. We had some veteran linebackers. Ended up letting one of them go. And then, I think, which was nice for some of us young guys, that, we kind of felt that comfortability that the coaches and, the owners and whatnot believed in us. So, It helped us a lot, but stats, I don't know if that all matters really much. Couldn't tell you. I think just production-wise, individually, it makes you feel a little bit better. But at the end of the day, it's a team sport. As long as we win, get to the playoffs, give ourselves a chance.
All right, 4th year, man. You're already past, I think, or close to the average career in the NFL. Does that strike you as odd that, most guys are around for 3 years and then they're gone, but you're going into your 4th year? That's a big deal.
It's gone by quick. It definitely has. I never really thought about the whole NFL minimum player thing. I've always taken each year by year, just do what I can to keep my body going, that I can play the game of football longer and longer. But like you said, year 4, can't believe it's already here, and just hoping to keep on stacking them up. That's about it.
Last year, 4th year of your original contract when you came into the league. What does that mean anything for you? What happens after this season? Do you look to get a multi-year contract? Do you have a 1-year deal with the Eagles? What do you hope going forward after this year?
Yeah, so this would be the last year of my rookie deal. Usually rookies sign a 4-year contract, and this is my last year. So going into this year, the Eagles have the opportunity to, either talk contracts during season, training camp, whatnot. If they want to extend it, if they want to re-sign me or whatnot, and then also if they don't, then after the end of the year, go into free agency, and then they still have the option if they want to match offers or see what other teams are doing. And I also, if I had the ability to go in free agency, I'd also see around the league what other teams are offering and things like that. So you just never know. This could be a long year. That stuff's kind of not really my utmost thing at the top of my head. Is kind of trying to keep it in the back of my head. We just gotta, like I said, football. We got a big season ahead of us. We got a long year, especially with what's going on right now. It's kind of the last of my worries.
And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but goal number 1: stay healthy, get to the season for one thing, and then see what happens from there. And what about the Eagles this year to get past 9 wins, get further into the playoffs? What needs to happen?
Just got to play really good team football. And I think that's one thing that ever since I've been in Philadelphia, we've done well is, we've put all 3 phases of the game together. Like I said, giving ourselves a chance in the end of the year. But I think especially after last year, we got to stay injury free. That was kind of one of our X factors last year. We had a lot of moving pieces. We had to move a lot of stuff around, so it was a difficult year for us, but we gave ourselves a chance to keep fighting, and that's all you can ask for.
All right, looking forward to seeing it, buddy. Thanks.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coming up next on Benchwarmers, Shane Warwick has built a workout wonderland for basketball players of all ages. We'll see what he has in store for this summer at Warwick Workouts. Welcome back. Avera Health and Shane Warwick have partnered up for a decade now to teach basketball skills to grade school and high school and college and even NBA players. And like everybody else, Warwick has had to get a little creative to keep his camps and workouts going right now. Here is Shane with Elena Lanson.
Thanks so much for chatting with us today. I know that we are into camp season so far. You have position camps for kids of all ages. What do you have going on this summer?
Well, kind of a readjustment with everything going through with the COVID-19, but we feel like that we're kind of ready to roll now and did a little restructuring. The past 3 weeks we've been doing individual and small group workouts. This next upcoming week we will have at Thursday, Friday, we'll start our Summer D-League that runs through all of June and July. And then on Monday, June 8th, we will start with our first camps of the summer. We'll have our positionless player camps starting June 8th. The following Monday, we'll have our junior high elite camp. Starting Monday, June 22nd, then will be our 3-level scoring camps, and then the last weekend in June will be our point guard camp that'll start on June 29th and run through July 1st. So we are, like I said, pretty much set for the rest of the summer. We'll have camps every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday through the middle of August. Our Summer D-League will run through the end of July. And so we're excited, and it's been a lot of fun just to be able to get back in the gym. Kids are excited, probably more excited than you've ever seen kids just to be able to get out of the house. So we're excited, looking forward to the summer.
Knowing that it's been a little bit since they've seen their other peers and their other friends on their teams, what kind of atmosphere do you know that you're walking into? You said that they're very excited. What kind of community do you want to rebuild and show them a good time this summer?
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. There's just been extra excitement of being in the gym, and kids are coming in excited, and it is. I think there's a little more appreciation, kind of maybe of what they've had before. So even on the trainer side, it's been a lot of fun just because they are so excited to get out and do stuff and work on their game. So that's been a big plus, and definitely have seen a difference, in kids on that part of how much they appreciate getting back in and working. And then just some a little bit of normalcy to get back, and it's kind of been a tough time on everybody with the school and everything that's going on to that part. I think the one thing that we're doing a really good job on is the safety precautions. We're checking everybody at the door. Everybody is masked at the door. We're doing the temperatures, going through all the series of questions. There's no parents or families or spectators that are in the gym. So we've been keeping the group small on that part, naturally sanitizing the basketballs every single time. On that part, lockers are closed. We have in the gym, we have all of the kids spaced out with their own space that's sanitized on that part. So I feel like you're doing everything possible on the safety precaution side of it too. So I think that part of it, kids are safe and feel safe on that part, is getting back in and working. So again, just honestly really excited about getting going with everything we got going this summer.
They're safe getting back in the gym now that they're there. What type of workouts are you doing with them to kind of build up that endurance that they might have missed, or kind of get back to that technique work?
Yeah, I think no doubt we have noticed that. You could tell that there's some kids have been doing some different things maybe on their own a little bit, but kids have came back in, and you can tell that they've had a few months off of maybe not doing a lot of training or training hard. So a lot of the stuff that we've done for the last 3 weeks has just been small group or individual workouts, and kind of breaking the ice and getting back going there.
Well, great. Thank you so much. I know you're excited to get back in the gym, and we really appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right, thank you guys. Coming up next on Benchwarmers, our guy at the University of North Dakota, Alex Heinert, coming up with some insight on high school track in the Dakotas and some unfinished business for the hockey program at UND.
Benchwarmers on Midco Sports Network is presented by Avera Orthopedics.
Welcome back to Benchwarmers. Alex Heinert is here, our man at the University of North Dakota for what, 5? How many years?
This will be year 5. Yep.
Absolutely. Fantastic work up there. We'll talk a little UND hockey here in a minute, but first, high school track. You're a big fan of high school track, cover it as well. What kind of season did we miss out on in the Dakotas because there was no high school track season?
Yeah, I think a pretty good one. I mean, North and South Dakota track has always been, I think, elite, really. And when you look at where kids go to run collegiately, the times they put up in terms of national prestige. And this year was going to be no different. We had some kids that had really set all-time good marks in their careers that were entering their senior season. To think about a kid like Hunter Merkley from Sioux Falls, Lincoln, who broke the all-time South Dakota high school long jump record last year as a junior. Shelby Frank from Grand Forks Red River is an all-time great discus thrower, was a national champion 2 times over. She was coming back for her senior year. Those kids don't get a chance to build on their mark, to make another step forward. And so it's too bad that they didn't even get a shot, not even a sniff of a season this year. But same thing as everybody else. You didn't get a chance to compete, and their power is outside yourself. So
there's a national meet, though, that possibly is coming to Sioux Falls. Talk about this. It's the National Scholastic Athletics Foundation, a nonprofit that sets up these track meets all over the world, basically. But there's a chance that they could bring a national meet to Sioux Falls later this summer, and these Sioux Falls kids could, or these South Dakota and North Dakota kids could be involved.
Yeah, really exciting stuff. I mean, this is the big national meet for high school, for middle school. It's been taking place in Greensboro, North Carolina for a long time, but North Carolina A&C, the college where this takes place, has not opened up their doors yet for people to come back on. So it's been moved now to Howard Wood. And Howard Wood, the Dakota Relays, is an NSAF sponsored meet. So there's a connection there between Howard Wood and this national group. And the fact that right now, it's still up in the air whether it's going to happen or not. June 15th is kind of the deadline to make a decision. But at the moment, it's going to be July 30th through August the 2nd. It's going to bring people from all over the country here. And again, this is the best of the best, a who's who. If you look back at previous winners, it is a laundry list of Olympians and all-time greats in track and field. Obviously, this year's meet won't look quite the same because nobody had a season to really do anything, but people can apply. Go to nationalscholastic.org, put your time in. It's a small entry fee, and you get a chance to run with some of the best kids in the country.
And a decision made in the next week or so.
Next week or so, if it's going to happen.
Whether it's going to happen or not. We hope it does. All right. UND hockey is huge here on this network, and they were the favorites to win another national championship before everything got wiped out in April with the national championships. Is that fair to say?
I would say that's fair to say. They were number one in the pairwise. They had an unbelievable season, beat some of the best teams in the country. Them, Cornell, Minnesota State, it would have been a shout, but they would have been the number one team in the tournament going in.
I might be making this up, but it would be a good story if it's true. For some of these guys that played last year, that have unfinished business, that didn't get to play in the national tournament and finish out the season, that they are returning to UND. Is there any truth to that at all, that they're kind of rebuilding to take another shot?
Yeah, no, and you said the words, unfinished business, and that has been the mantra for this team going into this season. Typically, I think if this would have been a normal UND year, maybe 4, 5, 6 guys potentially leave for the NHL early. Instead, everybody's coming back. Everybody said we're coming back for another year to try and win banner number 9 for North Dakota, and they're going to be loaded. This team is going to be the consensus number 1 team in the country because of those guys coming back and the best recruiting class in the country, featuring some of the top kids in the nation coming.
Just doesn't happen all the time, right?
No.
I mean, yeah.
No.
This could be a special year.
Those years, a couple of years ago when UND had a couple down seasons where they didn't make the national tournament, it's because the teams had been ravaged by guys leaving early for the NHL. Because of all the success, that's not happening this year. So it's going to be an exciting North Dakota hockey season come this fall.
All right, and we're going to get it all in. We hope.
That's the hope, yes.
All right, Alex is going to stick around for a couple more minutes. He will reveal his Mount Rushmore of the top 4 UND athletes of the past decade when we come back. Welcome back to Benchwarmers. All this summer on the show, we are making the rounds of the schools that we cover here on the network, and our Midco Sports Network people, like Alex Heinert, are picking their top 4 athletes of the last decade, and then we present them Mount Rushmore style. And Alex had the task of picking 4 from the University of North Dakota, and we limited this to the last 10 years because we thought it would be easier, but maybe not, huh?
Maybe not. I think maybe because I had already picked the top 4 all time, it felt like that was the easier one, but there have been so many good people that have come through that program, from hockey to football to basketball to track to et cetera. It's a tough call, especially the last decade.
All right, let's put them up here, and you cheated on the first ones anyway because this is 2 people.
It's our list. I'm a West River, South Dakota kid. I grew up close to Mount Rushmore, so I feel like I could adjust a little bit. The Lamoureux twins, Monique and Jocelyn, who we know from their Olympic prowess, but again, they started their career at Minnesota, transferred to UND, and had 3 incredible seasons under Brian Adolski. Patty Kazmaier, which is the Hobie Baker for women, they were nominated for that award, finalists for that award. Jocelyn led the country in scoring. Monique led the nation's defensemen in scoring and doubled up her closest competitors. They took a pretty bad UND women's hockey program and made them national contenders, and they were 1 win shy of the Frozen Four back-to-back years when they were juniors and seniors. An easy pick, based on especially what they did after they left.
And
UND.
equally as well known, as you said, for the Olympics in 2018.
2 silvers and the game tying goal and the moment everybody talking about in the shootout.
Amazing.
Unbelievable stuff from them.
All right, 1 men's hockey player from the last 10 years.
Yeah, tough to pick just one. You could make a case for Zane McIntyre, maybe, who won the Mike Richter Award as the best goaltender in the country, but Drake Caggiula is the pick. 4-year player, Frozen Four MVP as a senior, led the team to their 8th national title. Drake was the guy who stepped up when it mattered most. He had 4 goals and an assist in the Frozen Four that year. He was a plus 46 as a senior. That's a modern era UND record for plus minus. An unbelievable player, and he's gone on to have a really good NHL career as well with the Blackhawks and the Oilers.
All right, 1 basketball player, 1 men's basketball player that took UND to the Big Sky Championship and got him into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, when you think UND men's basketball, really in the last couple of decades, Quentin Hooker stands out above the rest. He should have been the league MVP in the Big Sky as a senior. Jacob Wiley of Eastern Washington won that award. And it should have been Quentin Hooker. He was the league tournament MVP that year, 2-time first-team all-conference, led UND in scoring 3 straight years, and like you said, led them to the promised land, to the big dance for the first time. Plus, he made UND men's basketball the ticket in town. And that's hard when you've got hockey. This is a women's hoops town as well. He was an unbelievable player and a great guy and deserves a spot in the Mount Rushmore.
Last college game was against Arizona in the NCAA tournament.
Did okay down in Salt Lake City.
25 points for him.
Gave him a game. Gave the Wildcats a game that year.
All right, and one women's combo player. This was an all-around athlete that played 2 sports.
Yeah, this was a tough pick. The 4th spot was really hard. You could have gone Maddie Buck, who led the women's basketball team to the Big Dance, was a Big Sky MVP her senior season. Maybe could have gone John Santiago, who was a 3-time All-American for football. But I went with Faith Dooley because she was a 4-time All-Conference pick in volleyball. She's the Big Sky all-time career leader in blocks, as well as the UND all-time career leader in that as well. She was the Big Sky Tournament MVP, back-to-back years leading UND to a national tournament appearance as a junior and senior. And oh well, she also played basketball as a junior and senior, started 35 games for Travis Brewster, a 2-sports bar, and now she's the head volleyball coach at Concordia. I mean, it was just tough. That body of work, pretty dang good for Faith Dooley.
All right, these people could end up being trivia answers. Tell us quick before you go about Midco Sports Network trivia.
Yes, Tuesday nights on Facebook Live on our Midco SN Facebook page, a chance to bring local celebs, sports figures, and just people from the community to come out and play some sports trivia. It's a lot of fun. Tune in 7 o'clock live on Midco SN's Facebook page.
Sign up on social media.
Yes.
Take a look at next week coming up when we come back.
Benchwarmers on Midco Sports Network is presented by Avera Orthopedics.
Coming up next week on Benchwarmers, a sit-down with a baseball star from Brandon Valley, Jake Adams, talking about his one incredible college season at the University of Iowa and his current quest to make it all the way to the top in the Houston Astros organization. We will check in with the Kairos Volleyball Club, which has become one of the best prep programs in the region, and South Dakota State radio guy Tyler Merriam and I will get you caught up on Jackrabbit football and have our top 4 in the last 10 years at South Dakota State University. Coming up next week on Benchwarmers.